What's on, ladies and gentlemen? My name's Ross, I like games, and today we need to have a chat about what is going on with the prices of OP-10. You see, recently I've told you about the fact that EBO2 is actually turning into a bit of a monster set. Even though some of the prices are going down, the thing with EBO2 is you've got the alternate art Luffy, which, the leader, which to be fair is on the way down, but is also a $300 alternate art leader, which is absolutely absurd for any alternate art leader. If anybody's wondering, it's a playability factor. And then we've got those gold foil leaders, especially ones like Hancock, and also Vegapunk, because Vegapunk has been printed with an error, a misprint. It's actually proving quite valuable. And then the manga Luffy is proving a lot more valuable than we thought it was going to, and essentially the set is turning into a little bit of a monster. But I also told you about OP-11, and when we talked about OP-11, what I told you was, this set continues to crash hard. This is a set which is really struggling to hold value even on the big cards, which is a good thing, because it means that the singles are more available, they're getting in the hands of players and collectors, and this is awesome. But that got me thinking, well, hang on a second, OP-11 is crashing hard, but EBO2 isn't, but EBO2 looks a little bit special. What about the last set before them? What about OP-10? What is going on with OP-10 Royal Blood? So I thought that would be a fun chat to have today. And what I want to start off with is, leaders have been a disaster in this set. When these came out, I told you these were my least favorite alternate art leaders we'd ever had by a long margin, and it wasn't even close. Well, the number one leader in the set in terms of value has actually become Trafalgar Law, which almost makes the top 10, but doesn't make the top 10. It's in here at number 11. And if we have a look at the 6-month graph, we had, the ridiculous pre-sale price, what everybody's always trying to sell it for before the release of the set, which is, I always call it a ridiculous pre-sale price because it is always ridiculous, and it's a price of pre-sale. It was like $100. Oh. Yeah, that was too high. Dropped down super quickly to $40. It's now a sub $30 card. Cannot hold its value. Not even a little bit. And this is the biggest leader in the set. This is a playable leader. You know what else is a playable leader in the set? Smoker. Smoker has proven to be a very good deck. And generally speaking, if you've got a good deck, people want to use the alternate arts of the leaders. You only need to buy one. It's not getting shuffled into your deck. You can put it in a big hard case. So you can basically buy one copy of it, keep it nice and clean, and then have it there every time you play a game. One Piece players love the alternate art leaders, especially the playable ones. Yeah, this one's it's like $23. And this is a playable alternate art leader. This isn't like Caesar Clown, the one that I pulled from my box, which frankly is so low I can't even be bothered to look it up. Fine, I'm going to look it up, but first I'm going to tell you I have a prediction that it is a sub $10 card. Oh, there we go. TCG player currently has it listed as a $7 card. So look, just straight off the bat here, the leaders in OP-10 have been a bit of a disaster price-wise, which as far as I'm concerned means people don't really like them. Because we've seen plenty of other leaders in other sets get a bit of value, especially when they're playable. The playable leaders in here are sub $30 cards. The non-playable ones are sub $10 cards. Nah, mate, the leaders have been a disaster. But what about the rest of the set? Well, let's start back at the top here, the Trafalgar Law manga. Pre-sale price of over $500. It's a manga rare. No. $340 card. $340 card. It's still, incidentally, kind of on the downward spiral. Make no mistake about it. Yeah. This is not one of the big manga rares in the set. Honestly, this got me thinking, well, hang on a second. What do we got in terms of other manga rares? What's below this? And to be fair, there are a few out there, things like the Soja King from OP-03, Silver's Rayleigh from OP-08, that have always been kind of disappointing mangas. This is not the lowest manga, but I still need to make a point that this is a pretty low manga in terms of manga rare. This is not one that's holding its value very well at all. Now, if anybody's interested, there are a couple of cards that have actually done okay, like the Usohachi Special Rare. Now, the Usohachi Special Rare is currently sitting at about $107, which, to be fair, is this is a number 2 card in the entire set, to be clear, which is less than the price of a booster box. That should tell you what you need to know about the way that OP-10 is going. And the thing is, this is like a super playable card. Like a crazy playable card. And it did actually, on release, trickle up a little bit. Don't worry about the big spike on release. It means it didn't have the silly pre-sale. But it started at like 175, ticked along for a bit over 200, and then went down to 107. So make no mistake, this is still on the way down. And this is the number 2 card in the entire set. In terms of other special rares, we got the Newgate, which as far as I'm concerned is the best special rare in the set. That one briefly jumped up to just over 160 on release and is now down to like 93. And again, this is the number 3 card in the entire set. Cards in the top 3 should not be below the price of a booster box. This is. That tells you what you need to know. And then, number 4 card in the set is Sanji, the special rare, which has absolutely crashed from, it went up to 110, kind of held there until end of May, beginning of June, and now it's crashed down to $60. When we said OP-11 was crashing, I meant it. I showed you the proof. I showed my work in. OP-10 is crashing about as hard as any One Piece set we've seen. OP-10 is not really keeping any value really at all here. When the number 4 card in the set, a special rare with a very low pull rate, is $60, I mean, it's great if you want to be picking up singles, but that's about the best I can say. Now, there is one card out there, exactly one, at least kind of in the top 10 where the prices are kind of relevant. There is one that is seeing a significant jump. And it is the alternate art of Tashigi, which kind of went up to 45 on release, dropped down to 20, and is now back up to 40. It's still a little bit lower than it was on pre-sale, so let's not pretend it's gone absolutely ridiculous, and it's still a $40 alternate art, so we're not talking about crazy prices here, but we are talking about a card which is actually going up in a world where the entire set is crashing pretty hard. That, I think, is very relevant. What's the meaning of this? Yeah, this card is ridiculous. Free cost 4,000 power, counter plus 2,000. And if you have a green character other than Tashigi that would be removed from the field by your opponent's effect, you may rest this character instead. And the wording here is very important. Would be removed from the field by your opponent's effect. That's whether it's getting trashed, return to hand, return to deck, KO'd, it doesn't matter. If it would be removed, Tashigi can rest to save it. So in green decks, this becomes an absurdly good card because your opponent either has to kind of actually KO your characters in battle or leave them alone. Or at least until your Tashigi arrested. It's brilliant and it's phenomenal. And that's why the alternate art goes up to $40. Ahead of some of the special rares. But there's nothing else in the set. The Sanji has seen a small jump up. Went from 60 just after release down to 20 and is now back up to 30. This is not a big jump. But again, it's very much along the same lines of Tashigi, because on your turn, this character gains an extra 3,000 power, and on KO, it draws a card. So on your turn, it's a free cost 6k, and if your opponent KOs it on their turn, because it's down to a 3k, well, at least you get to draw a card. it's not the end of the world. And that's essentially it. You've got a couple of these alternate arts which are going up, and it's only really TCG that's seeing significant jumping because of their playability. Everything else is down, down, down. I'm not going to show you 50 more examples. There's not really much point, but I'll show you one. Charlotte Flampe. Special rare, very low pull rate. Very playable cards. You've got counter plus 2k, and on play you can add a card from the top or bottom of your life to your hand and draw a card. So you draw a card and you get an extra life, and sometimes you want to maneuver to have less life for various reasons. And it's got counter plus 2k. Very playable card. On release, we were seeing crazy pre-sale of like 140. On release, it was still about $100 to $80 card, depending when you looked. It's now a sub $30 card. Special rare with low pull rate. Very playable card. Sub $30. OP-10 is just not keeping value. It really is as simple as that. And if you think back to the graphs I've shown you in this video, or flick back and look at some of them again, you'll notice that a lot of them are still very much pointing downwards. I told you OP-11 was crashing hard, and it is. OP-10 is struggling to keep value. Am I worried? No. There's plenty of One Piece sets that are keeping value. I've already shown you EBO2. This is just a set that doesn't have the huge hits in, so the few playable cards in there are holding their value quite nicely. And outside of that, people are grabbing what they need and moving on. But I've told you all about this now, so now it's over to you guys. Tell me what you think about this in the comment section. What have you pulled? What have you got? Are you looking at this thinking, hey, hang on a second, I should go pick up some singles? Let me know in the comment section. Get us! Be nice. And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at @TheWasi. That's where we talk about One Piece and a bunch of other card games. And please do consider checking out patreon.com/PTCG Radio, where you can support the channel, get some bonus podcasts, and all kinds of fun things. But by far the most important thing, as always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching Wasi Plays.